Hello, good morning, and welcome to Morning Brew on Hughes the World. How you all doing this morning? We've got Elle in the chat. We've got Lost Missionary. We've got Katrina Bryce. We've got Chris C in there as well. Welcome one, welcome all. If you'd like to join our friendly friends in the friendly chat, all you need to do is press the friendly subscribe button and wait for a minute, and you'll be able to. Wow, that's a big subscribe button, and you'll be able to join in with the chat. It is Thursday, the 6th of August 2026. Here is the news. Well, a bit of it, the bit that the news that I wanted to talk. I wanted to talk about the news. I wanted to talk about something. So let's talk about Joshua Bonehill-Paine. Joshua Bonehill-Paine. What a weird fucking name. Jesus Christ. Anyway, this guy was a neo-Nazi. He says he's not anymore after going to jail for wrecking the life of helping to wreck the life of a Labour MP called Luciana Berger. You might recognise her name because she was the Labour MP here for Wavertree. You should have her constituency office next door to my one of my good friends, actually, as it happens. As for the reform joke, I think they missed the memo, as employees can be already fired for employing those without a right to work. So this guy Joshua Bonehill-Paine he was jailed for for anti-Semitic harassment against former Labour MP Luciana Berger, now a member of the House of Lords. Previous convictions include assaulting a police officer, burglary of a police station, and malicious communications over an anti-Islam hoax. Seemed like a, kind of guy you want around, yeah? Yeah, he founded the far-right National British Resistance, promoted a planned neo-Nazi rally, and the Tories selected him to contest a council seat in Somerset. This all came out yesterday. Badenoch, then, instead of saying, oh yeah, this is a mistake, you should probably not have him, I mean, this was somebody as an MP, But she thought, oh no, it's just a councillor. I don't care. I don't give a fuck. Why are you even asking me this question? Fuck off. That's basically what she replied. I'm paraphrasing here. She's defended the decision, claiming to allow this gobshite to run in a Somerset council seat, claiming that he had demonstrated contrition and rehabilitation. What do you think? Do you think he's showing enough contrition? Enough rehabilitation? I don't know. Maybe he has. And I am a believer in rehabilitation. I'm a believer in second chances without the art. But the hypocrisy here really stems from the fact that if this was an MP or a prospective councillor for any other party, Kemi Badenoch would be having a field day with this, wouldn't she? Wouldn't she? Think if a neo-Nazi was trying to join Oh, hang on, they are all neo-Nazis. If you thought that a neo-Nazi was trying to join the Lib Dems, she'd let it lie, or the Greens, someone who had gone to jail for anti-Semitism, anti-Semitic attacks, then turned up working for the Greens. What would she say about that? And this is the thing that always pisses me off, whether I agree with the Tories' philosophy on one thing or not. It's the hypocrisy. It's the constant cavalcade of hypocrisy every day. And it's not just Kemi Badenoch that does this. It's Nigel Farage as well. Donald Trump is the master at it, Do as I say, not as I do. Says, the problem is all these immigrants. He's married to an immigrant. His vice president is married to a lady of Indian heritage. But yeah, it's everyone but us. The rules for thee, not for me. But she defended this decision. Kemi Badenoch defended this decision, saying there's a lower threshold than MPs, than people who might be MPs, because the role involved local matters such as bins and parking. So she managed to come across as a massive hypocrite, come across as someone who didn't really give a fuck about the reality of anti-Semitism and the rise in anti-Semitic attacks in recent years and what kind of message this sends, you know. Um, and she said she then essentially shits all over local government and says, "Oh, it doesn't matter anyway. All they do is bins and parking," which is the opposite of what Andy Burnham's saying about local government. He's trying to give more power to local governments to be able to make decisions that improve the lives of everyone in their area, in their county, in their city, whatever it is. And there she is saying, "Oh, they don't matter." I mean, the whole thing, the interview, I should play it, but like she was wearing a high-vis jacket or something, or she was dressed up as a police officer or something. I don't know. She's cosplaying, and she just manages to like offend all these different segments of society. You know, the Jewish people's pain doesn't matter. We didn't need to actually ask the board of deputies or whoever like whether this was okay. We didn't have to consult them. We've made this decision for everyone. It's just, yeah, this all, and then you know, so she pisses them off. She pisses off people, Muslim people, because this guy was anti-Muslim as well, and she pisses off everyone working for local government, saying, "Oh, well, they don't matter." So you can put a former neo-Nazi in the local government, local governments. Local government's just a joke anyway. It's just all rum sodomy in the lash, you know. Anyway, so yeah, this all you know contradicts her previous attack on Louise Haig. Louise Haig. You know, as talking about politicians with convictions. She made a joke about that because Louise Haig once got mugged, and it was a really traumatizing event for her. And she thought that they had taken her phone, but it turned out that they hadn't. And this, like, months later, she found out they hadn't taken her phone. And she didn't report that to the police. And she should have done, you know? But that's very different. You know, that's more like a lapse, you know? It's something that I think any of us could do if we weren't really thinking about it. You know, the mugger had never been caught. The police hadn't moved any further with the inquiries. Whatever, you know, you find, oh, okay, what difference does it make? But you know, I don't know what the circumstances were with Louise Haig, but it feels like that's something that a mistake I could make. The mistake that Rachel Reeves made when she had a letting company and they filled out a form and they didn't tick a correct box. It feels like a mistake that anyone could have made. The whole thing with the stamp duty on Angela Rayner's property that she bought for her son, who has learning difficulties. It wasn't very obvious, and it wasn't to do with property law. It wasn't to do with taxation necessarily. It was to do with estate law, which is something that I know nothing about. I mean, you know, and apparently she was given bad advice by her solicitors, and this was found out by the HMRC. Ran an investigation to see if she had purposely misled. But it turns out, no, it was a mistake. Like, you know, thinking that you've paid for an extra hour in your car and getting a parking ticket. It's a mistake. Or leaving the car park without paying. It's just a mistake. It's not something that's intentional. But every time the right wing do something absolutely horrible, the intent is massive. Jeremy Hunt saying he forgot about his 7 ohms. This creep, generic Robert Degenerate going out and meeting up with what's his name? Richard Desmond. Richard Desmond, the proprietor of Burley Legal magazine, going out and making sure that he doesn't have to pay £13 million to Tower Hamlets Council, like he should have done, for planning permission, because they rushed it through before this new regime came into effect. Oh, like, all the stuff the people on the right do, that's horrible. It's always so fucking intentional. Boris Johnson having parties, and then he claims he was surprised by cake. Who's ever been surprised by cake? Do you know what I mean? Like, during a pandemic. Did you have a surprise birthday party during the pandemic? No, you fucking didn't. None of us did. And this is it's the intent. It's the intent that bothers me more than anything else. And I am willing to forgive if people truly apologize and say, yeah, we fucked up there. But here's another thing. Not only do these people do it intentionally, they when they fuck up, they do it maliciously with intent. They also like they never apologize. They're never like, oh, sorry about that. Yeah, I shouldn't have done that. Yeah, I shouldn't have given Richard Desmond that opportunity to save £13 million of cash. You know, dodge all that. And then you've got horrible little privately educated spivs like Jeremy Clarkson saying that people in receipt of benefits should write letters to everyone for who paid into tax because they're. This is a guy who got £250,000 from EU and government subsidies towards his farm. This is a guy who made his name on the BBC, paid for by licence fee payers. Did he write a letter of thanks to every fucker who paid for a BBC licence? I don't think so. I don't think so. It's crazy, isn't it? You know, the hypocrisy on the right is just, it's off the charts and they don't care. You know, we do generally, I can't speak for everyone watching this, but we generally care about being a hypocrite. We don't want to be a hypocrite. We don't want to be seen as a hypocrite. They don't care. And it's because they've got no shame. They've got no shame whatsoever. They're part of a religion, a cult. And it's not might means right, it's money means right. Like if you have money, you are a virtuous person in their imagination. You know, you're a good person because you've managed to make all that money or be born into all that money. So you're a good person. You're better than everybody else. And this is the mantra that they live by. So they can break all the rules. The rules are for you, not for them. You know, the two-tier system of this country. It's true that there is a two-tier system, but Nigel Farage and his gobshite mates, you've got, Layla Cunningham, Richard Tice, Sarah Puchin, Robert Jenrick, Suella Braverman, who's that other gobshite? Who's just Danny Kruger? All of them. Just rattle 7 people from the refuck side of things off the top of my head. 7 of them went to private school. 7 of them born into enough money that the parents, had £10,000 left over at the end of the year and went, hey, what should we do with this extra £10,000, darling? Yeah, let's spend this on Nigel's education. And this is what I feel like we're really fighting against. It's this warped morality of the super rich. The warped morality that makes Nigel Farage think it's okay to go out on a hunt and rip innocent animals apart. These foxes, these beautiful wild creatures, rip them apart with dogs. Think that's okay. There's anything moral about that. It allows Rupert Lowe to go on the Joe Rogan show. Rupert Lowe, also privately educated. And say that there was one murder in Scotland when there was 17, was it? 16 of them children. One murder in Scotland and they banned handguns. No, there were 17 murders in Scotland. They banned handguns and there's been no murders in Scotland schools or any schools in the UK ever since. With guns. I just Gullis, another privately educated person there. Darren, if you want to just keep mentioning names of people on the right, apparently he's been in a punch-up. What a shame. New legislation has been approved that will ensure that all operating systems will require age verification. The stupidity all behind the calls we need to protect the children. All operating system installs will require age verification. That's kind of crazy. Yeah. Okay. Chris says, Sarah, if you're late to a probation appointment and you're on license, you're called back to prison. The system stinks. Yeah. You're relying on public transport and there not being a queue of traffic, In the future, there will be no traffic jams. Yeah. Anyway. So Next up we have what was I going to say? Jonathan Gullis was educated. Yeah, he went to private school. Why didn't they let him into the Tory party looking like that? If he came from a coal mining family, it's very doubtful. Very doubtful he would have been selected. Because to be a Tory MP or a Labour MP, you've got to be selected by the local members of the party. I'm not going to select someone who's a pleb. I'm going to select someone who's part of the hoi polloi. Unless they want someone as a token, like, talisman to say, hey, look, we speak for the working people. Layla fucking Cunningham. Did anyone see this interview she did with Victoria Derbyshire yesterday, where she claimed to be the party of the people? The party of the people, she said. We are the party of the people, says Layla Cunningham, Reform prospective candidate for Mayor of London. Also privately educated, incredibly posh, born into loads of money, stuffed into her underwear. And, that's nice for some people. I wish they would use their money wisely, on sex, drugs, and rock and roll. But unfortunately, these stupid little pricks have to squander their fortunes on getting into politics. Where did it all go wrong? Go and have a good time. You got the money for it. Go and have a fucking good. Go and have a laugh. Go and have fun. Go and have Go on. Anyway. So this Bonehill-Paine in the arse bloke, he withdrew after the backlash against him. The Badenoch then, instead of going, okay, well, that's the end of that, she doubled down. She gave him an advisory role on the Conservatives' Culture and Integration Commission, focusing on youth radicalisation. Yeah. There are certain jobs that I feel like if you are someone who, if you were someone who, I've just checked. Apparently, he's privately educated. You can't make it up, can you? No wonder they're defending him so much. God, those school ties are really tight, aren't they? Those fucking school ties, so tight they choke you. Drainy, doff off the cap to you, good sir. Oh, thank you. Doff of the cap. Thank you very much. From Drainy. That's very kind of very first super chat of the day. Brilliant. Got a couple of quid in there. Thank you. If you get a few more in, we will release Bin Feffy. And don't forget, Bin Feffy will be retired after next Thursday. Well, he might come back as a guest appearance in future by-elections, but next Thursday, a week today, Nigel Farage, he'll probably get 60% of the vote, whatever, but it will be funny that so many people will vote for the joke candidates because that's the only alternative. Graham, this individual also gives counter-extremist talks to schools and colleges. Yeah, I don't mind that, Chris. Chris, that's fine for me. That's fine, and I think that's a good thing that he does. And that's cool, yeah. And like I say, I am for rehabilitation. However, there are certain convictions that stop you from, for instance, becoming a school teacher or becoming a scoutmaster or becoming a whatever. And I do feel like a conviction against for neo-Nazism, no matter what happens later in life, I really don't think you should be put forward for elected office. I just don't. And also, have a think about this, right? So, stepping stone, being a councillor is usually a stepping stone towards becoming an MP. So this guy who went to jail for terrorising a Jewish MP. Well, she's still there. She's not an MP anymore, but she's in the House of Lords. She's in the same building, There's not, it's not, a plague on both your houses, but the House of Commons and the House of Lords are both located in the Palace of Westminster. So there's a good chance she'll run into the guy who made her life a fucking misery at work. I mean, come on. that for me is, yeah, a bridge too far. Ryan, thank you very much for the £2 super chat, my friend. They always defend their own bunch of jokers. Yeah. So yeah, it's two things here. It's the fact I don't feel. Thank you so much for the super chat. I don't feel like this is the right guy to run as a councillor, but also I feel like if it had been any other party, they would be over this like white on rice. You know, they'll be screaming at people. You know. How dare you? How dare you get this former Nazi and who, you know, and if it'd been someone who'd gone after a Jewish Tory MP, imagine that. Imagine the Greens say we're getting a new Green councillor, and they turn up, and it turns out to be somebody who harassed a Tory MP, a Jewish Tory MP, so much that the guy went to jail for the harassment. You know. So yeah, he's got an advisory role on the Conservatives Culture and Integration Commission, and the Home Office disputed Badenoch's claim that he had been training prevent officers. So the Home Office is like, no, he hasn't. So they're lying. The right wing are lying. I know this is gonna. Are you sitting down? I don't know how to say this, but Luciana Berger herself, she described his appointment as an insult and said the consequences of his abuse remain with her. And the hypocrisy here, at the end of the day, is that the Tories treat minor offences by candidates, MPs, councillors of Labour, the Lib Dems, the Greens, as you know, permanently disqualifying. Any minor offence, that's it. They've got to leave. They've got to resign, and the newspapers get behind them. Yep, they've got to resign. They've got to resign. While offering candidacies and advisory positions to a convicted former neo-Nazi whose crimes, although yeah, they were 10 years ago, but his crimes are still affecting the people, his victims, years later. It just stinks. It just stinks of rank hypocrisy. But then that's nothing new for the Conservatives, is it? Come on. Anyway, some good news. There's something I've been calling for a while. The government is expanding the global talent visa route. So scientists and engineers are being offered easier UK entry. More scientific engineering and research awards will qualify applicants for accelerated entry. Successful applicants do not require sponsorship from a particular employer. The policy is intended to attract highly skilled workers from America and international competition for researchers from America. And this is fantastic news because I've been saying this for ages. Get them over here. Get all those scientists and researchers and engineers. Get all those boffins, right? Bring them over here. Lull them in with lovely cake. Okay? Lull them into a false sense of security. Come on, bring them over. Bring them over. Bring them over. And yeah, we need to obviously the right wing will pick up on this and say, "Oh, that Labour are opening the floodgates and all this kind of nonsense," but it's bullshit. But if people are qualified and they can't get jobs in their own country because there's too many people like that there's too few slots for the people, employment slots available. Employment slots, jobs, not enough jobs of it. Why am I calling them employment slots? What the fuck is wrong with me? That's like human resources, isn't it? What do? We fire and rehire. Why don't you call fire and rehire? No, of course, I was human resources. So we sound like we deal in Soylent Green. Yeah, there's not enough jobs to go around for the people who are qualified in any given country. Or maybe you got a president in who doesn't believe in science and just screams and shouts at people who dedicate their lives to saving other people's lives, like Anthony Fauci, and maybe they want to leave. Maybe people want to leave. Maybe people want to leave and come over here with their qualifications and all their knowledge and make our lives better. Yeah, from a selfish point of view, I'm like, yeah, brilliant. Come on then. I don't like it when we take doctors and nurses from places that don't have enough doctors and nurses. That's a bit shit. But when they've got too many and there's not enough jobs to go around, fucking bring it on. bring it on. And up to this point, you had to be sponsored by an employer. Now you don't, just turn up. Just turn up and look for a job. It's great. Thanks for the channel, Graham. It's a safe space. Oh, thank you for watching, Shops of Krish. I like the fact that you like the channel. Just done some research into Bonehill-Paine, who was expelled from his school for fighting an anti-Semitic tax against Jewish people. He was placed in the care system at the age of 13. Yeah. I'm for rehabilitation. However, I do not agree that an individual who has convictions for neo-Nazism should be anywhere near school children, regardless of how rehabilitated he is. I do not agree that an individual who has convictions for neo-Nazis should be anywhere near school children. Yeah. But this is the thing, like, when you have a politician or a councillor, an elected position, they will be put into situations with people in the ward that they represent or the constituency that they represent, that, like, that it does raise concerns about safeguarding. But maybe it tells a story of just how desperate the Tories are. Maybe the Tories are just so unpopular right now, and they've lost half of their voters to refuck. And it's just, what can you do? So so that was good news about scientists and engineers. Now I've got some bad news for you. This is a bit shit. Recorded anti-Semitic incidents remain close to historically high levels. The figures cover threats, abuse, harassment, vandalism, and assaults. This creates the obvious contrast with Badenoch placing a convicted anti-Semitic officer inside the Conservative operation. Rehabilitation into society is not the same thing as entitlement to elected office or influence inside a national political party, but it does seem terrible timing that this report's come out. Saying that Britain has never been so anti-Semitic, never. In fact, it looks worldwide like this is a phenomenon worldwide. It's the highest levels of anti-Semitism around the world that we've seen in decades, probably since the 1940s. So yeah, that's a bit shit. But there is another story that I wanted to cover today. This is, I guess, it's a bit of a better story, but new More in Common polling has found that 36% of Britons have seen Andy Burnham's online content since he became Prime Minister. And this rises to more than half of all 18 to 24-year-olds have seen his content. And only 16% have seen Nigel Farage's content. So 36% Andy Burnham, 16% Nigel Farage, and no other political leader, including Zach Polanski, has reached 10%. And where Phil and I have been screaming for so long for Labour to get their act together and improve their comms, Andy Burnham's gone and done it, and he's absolutely smashed it. Burnham is reaching more than twice as many people as Farage, despite Refuck's supposed mastery of social media. But the big difference, I think, is that there are a lot of Labour members, and it's not just AstroTurf, it's not just bots. There are so many Reform bots and Restore bots out there. It's kind of painful, and you can spot them a mile away. You can always spot a bot. You can always tell. With bots, anyway. But yeah, the some advantage comes naturally with being Prime Minister, but the sheer scale of this shows that Labour's social first strategy is actually cutting through. And so Burnham's not just winning conventional news coverage, but he's also occupying feeds where younger voters encounter politics, maybe for the first time. If he's popping up on people's TikTok feeds and in their For You algorithm. The only thing that I will say to this situation is if you look at the graph of who he's let's have a look. If you look at this graph that I'm going to bring onto the screen for you all to see for your viewing pleasure. All right, here we go. 36 people. No, 36% of it. 36 people have seen Andy Burnham's social media in the past week. 36 people. Hang on, let me get it to the right side so you can see them all. Okay, so there you go. It's really hard to do this on a laptop. I've got like 17 windows open here, trying to get all this done. Okay, so 36% of people have seen Andy Burnham's social media in the past week. So there's Kemi Badenoch's figures. She's rises at the 25 to 34-year-olds. I don't know why that is. Let's skip Andy for a moment. Just go to Rupert Lowe. Like, nobody's seen his shit. Zach Polanski, no one's seen his shit. Ed Davey, no one's seen his shit. Nigel Farage, he's there with the young people. They've seen quite a lot of it. Now, Andy Burnham, have a look at those steps, right? Almost all of them are going down, and that's by age group. So the older you are, the less likely you are to have seen one of Andy Burnham's social media posts, right? And I mean, what he's done, what he's achieved in just a couple of weeks is fucking amazing, right? I'm not going to take that away from them. They've done really, really well, right? Well done, Labour social media, right? However, I would be a bit concerned about those older voters who aren't seeing it, right? They haven't seen any of Andy Burnham's social media. Why? Well, because older people aren't on TikTok. They aren't on Instagram. They aren't on Snapchat or, whatever. They're on drugs, most of them. But they're not necessarily on the platforms that Andy Burnham has been all over. They are on a platform. This one. This is. I'm not saying that YouTube is a channel for the old folks. It's absolutely not. They have YouTube Kids, and a lot of people watch YouTube more than they watch normal telly these days. But if you want to reach an older demographic, it's a really good idea to start putting stuff onto YouTube seriously, which I'd like to see Burnham do. But we will see. Scott's getting off. All right, Scott, see you later. They're improving their social media presence, and all it'll cost is trans lives, says Gallifrey Wren. I'm sorry. We covered the ridiculous trans guidance yesterday, and apparently councils are just going to ignore it. Apparently lots of people are just going to ignore it. It's not enforceable by law. I mean, this whole thing is just so fucking stupid. Do you want me to show you? Do you want me to? I'll show a video that Rachel shared with me last night. This is just absolutely bloody mind blowing. Let me just see if I can get this up on the screen. Sorry, this is going to be a little bit fiddly because I need to just find it, and then I need to get it onto the screen here. What can I do with that? It's one of those annoying things where it's either like a little tiny video or it's like the whole screen and there's nothing in between. But that's okay. So watch this. This is the chair of the Inequality and Human Wrongs Commission, right? This is her being challenged about how to enforce single-sex spaces. I am gonna have to. Let me have a look. I'm gonna have to do this. Add an animation capture. Okay, cool. All right. Hopefully this will work. I've left me bloody headphones upstairs. I thought I won't need me headphones. So I put me good headphones upstairs. I've got my crappy headphones that are falling apart here. Hopefully I'll hear something. Let's go. Oh yeah, there we go. That works. Okay, and let me just check if that works for you. No, it's not working. Oh, why is it not working? Sorry, you can't hear it for some stupid bloody reason. Just give me 1 sec. This is why I need a producer. It's not letting me feed the sound through. Why are you not letting me feed the sound through? No. No. Oh man. Why won't you just? Why does my computer hate me? That's my question. Does anyone know? What did I do? What did I do to make my computer hate me? Shit, it's just not working. Oh, I can hear it. I can hear it fine. Sorry, I know you can't see what I'm doing, but basically, I'll just go over. Right, so I've got this video up, right, and I keep pressing the play button, like that. So his mouth is babbling around, but it's not actually making any sound here. This really sucks. This really sucks. Window. Okay, let's see if we can do that. And then, no, it's just not working. I don't know what they've changed on OBS recently, but I'll tell you, this is making my life a fucking misery. Properties. Let's get rid of that. Let's go again. Application audio capture beta. Okay, make source visible. Add new. EHRC chair. Sorry about this. Window title must match. Okay. No, it's just not. It's just not playing. I'm very, very sorry. I tried. I tried. I failed. Anyway, it's the chair of the ECHR, whatever the fuck it's called, and she's just absolutely fucking awful answering these questions. Like, what do you do in a practical situation? I'm so sorry that I can't play the sound on this. That's really shit. That is really, really shit. Oh. No, nothing's working. I wonder if there's something I can do to feed that sound through to my mic. No, there isn't, is there? There's nothing. There's nothing I can do. Oh well. You cannot trust pubs anymore, e.g. Newcastle Brown not being made in Newcastle anymore, but it's made in Tadcaster. Madry not Spanish, but made in Tadcaster, and other examples of things made in Tadcaster. Katrina says, I've only seen Green Party content. They seem to be doing best on Instagram. Yeah. Chris says Chris is fed up with TERFs getting their own way all the time with little to no pushback. Yeah. They get to say the most horrific things that you wouldn't be able to say about any other minority. You know, make derogatory comments and cast aspersions and claim that this, you know, one person from this community represents everyone in this community. It's just, it's so fucking grim. It's so fucking grim. Have you another device you can play it in the background? Well, yeah, but I mean, the audio wouldn't sync up. If I was just playing it on my phone and press play at the same time, the audio wouldn't sync up properly. So yeah, no. No, I'm just thinking there's a clever little wizard wheeze to. I don't know why they changed the setup on this. But they did. Do you know what? There used to be a advanced properties. Where's the advanced properties gone? Ah, here we go. Here we go. Desktop audio. Monitor off. It's got all six tracks. Okay. No, I have no idea why it's not working. Got no idea why it's not coming. I bet there's like a tick box that I've got to tick somewhere. Let's look it up. Should we look it up? Come on, let's look it up together. It'll be fun. Tick. What's it called? OBS desktop audio no longer working. Okay. Change from default Claudia to no, I've got done that. Audio. Open the volume mixer. Yeah. Windows. Always worked. Sorry, everyone. Always worked. This is like an ASMR video. Always worked in the past. Stopped. Last month. Oh God. Oh no. It's doing AI shit. Windows updates often toggle microphone and audio capture privacy settings. Open your Windows settings. Okay. Windows. No, I don't want to open Adobe. Go away. Right. Windows. Windows is open. Okay. Privacy and security. Microphone. Microphone. Microsoft microphone access. Yes, it's on. It's on. Scroll down and verify. Let desktop apps access your microphone. Is let what? Let choose which apps can do your microphone. Yeah. OBS. Yeah, I'm using the microphone, so clearly that is working. Note down the name of the active output advice. For Windows updates, it often creates new software. This is fun, isn't it? New software profiles for your existing speakers and headphones. Okay, so right-click the speaker icon. Okay, let's do this. Come on, troubleshooting. Let's do it. Select sound settings. Okay, do that. No. I had 17 windows open already, and I got like 197. Okay, speakers. Yeah. Note down the exact name of your output device. I know what it is. Audio, and then set desktop audio to disabled. Click apply, and then switch it back to the right. What? Why would I need to do that? There's no disable thing. I can just okay. If another app took priority over your sound card, it can lock OBS out completely. Okay. Oh my God. Okay, so window R. Type control. You must line control. Open the control panel. Click sound. What? In the playback tab. Where's the playback tab? There's no playback tab. What are you talking about? There's no sound. Hardware and sound. Okay, cool. Hardware and sound. Oh, okay. This is useless. Right click and put properties. Allow applications to take exclusive control of this device. Untick the box. Allow. Oh, I see. Okay, all right. One second. I'm just going to see if this is what remedies the problem. Then again, I mean, I'm thinking, oh, you know, something must have changed, but maybe just life is shit. Go to sound. Okay. Right click on the property, sounds, system volume, manage. There's sound. Okay, sound. Okay. What do we got here? Headphones disconnected. Speakers. Properties. And then we go to exclusive use of something. I can't. Advance. Oh, give exclusive mode applications priority. Ooh, allow application. Okay, apply. Right. Okay. Now, my friends. Now, will this work? Because I've taken away exclusivity. I've just got rid of that. God, this is so much fun, isn't it? But if this works, my friends, if this works. No, it still doesn't work. Oh my God, just kill me now. No, still not working. Still absolutely not working. Why aren't you working? Probably have to restart my computer, don't I? Okay, so yeah. Maybe it's the turfs. Maybe the turfs. Maybe it's the turf lobby that is stopping my audio coming through from OBS. I don't know. EHRC, not ECHR, very different institutions. I know, but they're almost the same. I think they are actually the same letters, just in a different order. I mean, do you know when they came up with the name of the Equalities and Human Rights Commission, they must have thought, fuck the dyslexics, man. Bastards. It's probably the same person who invented the word dyslexic to describe people who are dyslexic, so they have to write it down all the time. It's a really hard word to spell. Gallifreyan Ren says, "Oh yes, the justice system did great work when the security. Sorry, I was going to say Security Council there, but it's Supreme Court, isn't it? Supreme Court made that the ruling that led to this guidance. I have the utmost faith in them. Yeah, indeed. I found the video, and there's no sound on it. No. Cyber Ruth, like I can hear it. I can put my headphone in my ear and I can hear the sound. It's just not coming through on the channel that I normally use. You know, when like I'm doing Zoom calls or showing you some social media or doing a live broadcast of something, I have it running through. I have a channel called like desktop audio. And whatever I can hear, you can hear. So sometimes, like, if someone sends me a message on WhatsApp web and I haven't muted it, you'll hear a ping because, like, I get a new message. When I adjust the volume for me, you sometimes get that little Windows noise of like the volume, which is really annoying. I wish I'll stop doing that. But yeah, try another video, just see if it's general isolated on that one video. No, it's not the video. It's not the video's fault. Like I can hear it. I can hear the video absolutely fine. It's just not coming through into OBS, and it used to. And then they put this new thing out where you could add an audio. What do they call it? Application audio capture. That used to work fine, and that doesn't work anymore for some reason. Although I will try that again, just because. I have changed that audio setting. No, that's not coming through either. That's not coming through. But I can hear wittering. I can hear wittering on my headphone. I just don't know why it's not funneling through. Because that was my backup. You know, the other day when I was talking to Phil and I was at home here in Liverpool, and I was talking to Phil, and I on the agenda, and he had no sound, and I was like fucking around with stuff trying to get his sound to work. That was the same problem, and I managed to find a workaround for it. But that does not exist. It's not working. It is not working, and I don't know why, and it's making me sad. It could be a restriction on the video itself to prevent commercial use. Oh yeah, I suppose it could be. All right, let me just go and have a look on YouTube then. Stop comparing Trump to Hitler. Broken News. No, I'm on Broken News, watching it on what's it called? YouTube. the platform we're on there. Yeah, no, if I can hear it through here, then it should come through OBS, but it's not. Are you using Firefox? I think that doesn't allow sound. No, the sound should be coming through. Like anything that I play on my computer, you should be able to hear through the desktop audio. That's the way it's always been set up. Like if I played a local file of my video from travel or something, then it will come up. Anything that comes through here should normally come through OBS on the channel that I call desktop audio. Actually, I call it that because that's what it's called. Like I didn't make that name, but desktop audio is what it comes up as. But yes, just post the video in the comments. Oh, that's a good idea. That's a bloody good idea, isn't it? But yeah, just bloody ridiculous. Okay, so moving on. We were talking about the attention economy. What a ridiculous. I love it. There must be people out there whose job it is to come up with ridiculous terms like Brexit. Sounds like OBS has changed the settings somewhere. Yes, it does. I wonder if there's a solution here that involves no. All the solutions that it says here, the last one is the application audio capture if the global desktop audio pipeline remains completely blocked by Windows, you can bypass it entirely by targeting specific apps, which is what I did. I made a new audio channel that was just for this video. Anyway, I think we've lingered on this far too long. Thank you for sticking with us, anyone who has. But yeah, where was I? Oh God, I don't know where I was. You were over there. Now you're over here. So yeah, some bad news. So it was good news, bad news, good news, bad news. Britain faces disastrous cereal harvest this year after these heat waves. We're coming up for our. Is it our 6th or is it our 7th heat wave next week? There's another one on the way after this one broke. It would be even an improvement at this point would leave 2026 amongst the 5 worst harvests in the last 4 decades. More than half the wheat crop harvested. Current projections suggest the combined cereal and oilseed harvest could be the worst since detailed records began in 1984. Which is really shit because lower domestic production means greater reliance on imports and greater exposure to volatile international food prices. And we all love it when food prices go up, don't we? There's a punitive tax, isn't it? There's a regressive tax, food prices. Because £1.50 for a can of beans for someone who's on £9 an hour is quite a big chunk of their £9 an hour, isn't it? To someone who's on £9 million an hour, it's nothing. But it's still a can of beans, isn't it? It's still your food. It's still your lunch. I know rich people tend to eat more expensive food, but they don't have to. Whereas if you're on the lower, social economic ladder, the lowest rung on the social economic ladder, you've got to eat. You've got to eat. Meanwhile, small boat crossings are down. They're down by 44%, according to the government, on last year. I think they should be down by 100%, and the way to do that is by offering safe routes, because no one in their right mind would come across if they thought that there was another way to do it. No one would put their kids on a dinghy to come across the channel. It's way too dangerous. No one would do it. Pin or you'll lose audience who are watching on phones as the link scrolls off the chat window. We can't see it. Yeah. Did you see that the restore policy, which is basically give rich people a tax cut, claiming it would ease the burden on the NHS? That's what Trump did, isn't it? He just gave a massive tax cut to all of his mates. Gave a massive tax cut to all of his mates, and he not only that, he also decided that it would be a good idea to cut aid to other countries. So millions of children are now dying as a result of what Trump has done. But he also, stopped investigations into all his mates' companies, all the people who helped him get elected. Or cheated for him. Meanwhile, there's been more strikes on Ukraine. They're being absolutely hammered by the Russians at the moment. People have been killed in Valakia, I think, pronounced that way, and Sumy. Ukraine continues to face combined missile and drone attacks against cities and civilian infrastructure, and Kyiv's air defense systems are, they're needing to cover population centers, energy facilities, military sites, and the front line all simultaneously. So Ukraine is pressing allies for additional interceptors, as existing stocks are getting depleted, and North Korea has supplied Russia with millions of artillery and mortar rounds, ballistic missiles, and other weapons. Thanks for that, North Korea, you fuckers. And Reuters has identified 4 Russian flagged ships making 64 voyages to North Korea's Rajin port between September 2023 and March 2025, transporting almost 16,000 ammunition containers. I think if you want to get the right wing on board with stopping Russia, all you need to do is just point out that this is clearly Asia attacking Europe. Asian bombs, Asian missiles. You could, dress it up however you want to placate the bigots, but that's what it is at the end of the day. It's our women and children, as they like to say. Meanwhile, there's been a Houthi attack which has disrupted Gulf shipping. Another Houthi attack. The danger means that insurance prices go up, and shipping containers, they alter routes, which means that delivery costs massively increase if you've got all the fuel that you need to go around Africa, if you've got a crew that you need to feed to get all that journey, and obviously you're not getting to a port. You instead of a 1 month journey, you've got a 2 month journey. So if it was a 1 month journey, you could do another journey. So you're basically halving your profits because that ship is useless for a month while you're waiting for it to turn up. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I just this is really serious, and it's all started by Trump and Netanyahu, who both should be behind bars. Meanwhile, Taiwan has been conducting exercises built around the possibility of a Chinese attack or blockade on the island. Training includes military mobilization, protection of infrastructure, and civilian emergency procedures. China regularly uses aircraft, naval vessels, and Coast Guard activities to pressure Taiwan without crossing the threshold into declared war. And there's a strategic question of whether Taiwan could remain operational long enough for outside assistance to arrive in the case of an invasion by the Chinese, and also whether that assistance is actually going to turn up at the moment, because I don't think that it is. I think that we should be expanding NATO to include Taiwan, to include Japan, to include South Korea. Just do it. Just do it. Protect these small countries from their monsters next door. I don't know. Keep the fucking barbarians at the gate. Although, I will say, having gone to Taiwan, spoken to people there, travelled around a bit, it does seem to me that Taiwan would be a really, 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 really idiotic place for China to invade. And I don't think they will, so long as Ukraine remains a disaster for Vladimir Putin. And Ukraine is a disaster for Vladimir Putin. And the reason why they're just firing rockets indiscriminately into Ukraine is because Ukraine's winning. Ukraine is winning the war. End of. It's just it is absolutely monstering Russia. It's taken out not just oil infrastructure, oil refineries, oil depots, ports, boats, oil tankers. Not just that. They're taking out the equivalent of Amazon in Russia. Like that, they are highly adept at picking very, very clever targets that they know will be adding to the misery of people who have to live in Russia anyway. Graham is also 5 months into a 4-week war, which he won on day 2 to destroy nuclear production, which he destroyed last year, says Punanator. You couldn't make it up, could you? You could not make it up. I like how Ukrainians have switched their targets to the Russian version of Amazon. Fuck your next day delivery, Rusky. Chrissy, I think we need to take the gloves off when it comes to Putin. Park a couple of SSBLMs in the Baltic Sea and ask Putin one question: are you feeling lucky, punk? Well, I mean, I keep making the point that if they have any active warheads, nuclear warheads, or nuclear bombs, nuclear missiles, I would be very, very surprised. It's why the worry about a dirty bomb, a suitcase nuke that we had in the 1990s. We thought that Russia, the Soviet Union, so much corruption, and once it collapsed, someone would get hands on this nuclear material. But the reality is, if you did get your hands on some nuclear material, your hands will burn and you will die, because there's ways of handling nuclear stuff, and if you don't have those ways, then it's not easy. You can't put a nuclear weapon into a suitcase. It's just not something that's physically possible. Without walking around with a suitcase which has got a nuclear bomb in it. I mean, I think it's a fantasy. I'm sure someone in the chat will go, "Oh, actually, Graham, it could be done with this particular type of bomb." But as far as I'm aware, it's just nonsense, because if you could do something like that, the radiation coming from the bloody thing would kill the person carrying it through the airport before they actually got a chance to set it off. All China has to do is sit tight and do nothing while both Russia and America run out of missiles. Yeah, that's very true, James. No, but like back to the suitcase nuke, it would have to be lead lined, right? And you couldn't just get away with having like a little bit of lead, like a lead leaf, like gold leaf but lead, right? Lead leaf, right? Whatever they call it. I suppose there's a better name for it than that. You couldn't just get away with lead foil on the inside of the suitcase. You'd have to have fucking big fucking blocks of lead in there. You'd be too heavy. You wouldn't be able to pick the bastard thing up. Yeah, if you see Jeff Capes walking through, an airport with a suitcase that's on his shoulder, and he's like this, maybe, but in the movies where it's like this guy, and he's smartly dressed guy in a tuxedo walking through the airport with a briefcase, and it's like, oh, there's a bomb in that briefcase. I'm like, maybe a bit of Semtex. Said before, I'll say again, the only way to let the Earth thrive is to remove the parasites on the surface known as humanity. All of Earth's problems are man-made. Puddinator, that is not entirely true. That's not entirely true, because occasionally there's volcanoes, and there are storms that are not caused by humans, and there are earthquakes which kill lots of animals, and there are predators which kill lots of animals, because that's how they live, that's how they eat, that's how they... yeah. And isn't it interesting how evolution has made it so that if predators eat other predators, they will die of Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease or an equivalent of. Whereas if predators eat herbivores, they don't. Do you not think the herbivores should have maybe evolved something so their prions would fuck over predators, so the predators eat them and fucking die? No, whatever. Trump has massively increased the risk that China will dare invade Taiwan within the next decade or two, in my opinion. I think, yeah, I agree with that he has, but I do think that China are looking at what's happening in Ukraine, because I think that Taiwan would put up a hell of a fight, right? The Chinese would have to invade, like actually put boots on the ground and the terrain of Taiwan is such that it's a small mountainous island that has its lot. It's shaped like a turd. It's shaped like a turd, and its long side is parallel with the shore of China, and so yeah, they've got weapons. They have got weapons that are there to stop any kind of invasion. I don't know how they'll do it. They couldn't drop people in from the air, because the planes will be taken out the sky by missiles. An amphibious invasion, and it was tough enough doing D-Day, right? And the Nazis had a massive load of coastline to protect, to monitor, to see where the Allies were going to come ashore, because they knew there was going to be an attack. They just didn't know where. The D-Day was so meticulously planned for so long, and yeah, just the circumstances were quite different, because those men were only going 30 miles across the channel to the Normandy beaches. Whereas, what is it, 90 miles, is it? 100 miles between China and Taiwan? And ships don't go very fast. A ship going at full speed is maybe if you've got, I don't know, nuclear-powered bloody warship or something, maybe you could get up to maybe 40 miles an hour. It's not that fast. They'll see you coming. Imagine a missile going at 40 miles an hour. It'd be blown up before it got anywhere. That's why the missiles that really break through, these hypersonic missiles that can actually go faster than the speed of sound, and that's devastating when they hit. But people in a boat getting over, and then you got to get onto the beach. I don't know. I just can't see it. There are very smart people working for the government in China, and despite the dickheads who are like, yeah, let's take back Taiwan, let's take back Islas Malvinas, let's take back Gibraltar, that's it. Even though there are certain elements within the government who are a bit gung-ho about this, I think there's enough of them who are like, this would be absolute fucking madness. It would cost them so much for what? And they're just looking at what's happening in Ukraine, what's happening in Russia, and they're like, I don't really like the idea of this. Natural selection doesn't mean perfect design. It's the traits most likely passed on. It's not the traits that make every species perfect and optimized. Yep. No, I just think it's interesting, isn't it? That predators don't eat predators, because if they do, it's the prions, isn't it, in the brains of the predators that they eat. It's why cows shouldn't eat cows, right? That's what happened with Creutzfeldt Jakob disease. You know, my cow disease. That was basically, they had this feed that they were giving the cows that was made up of mulched up cow brains, or at least a percentage of it was mulched up cow brains, and it fucked them, and then the meat became basically infected with these prions, and these prions got into people's heads and gave them CJD, which is one of the most horrific ways to die imaginable. It's interesting that that evolution hasn't developed to a point where herd animals, prey animals, don't essentially poisonous to predators. Whether that's a poison like a tree frog poison, or whether that's because the prions. It's why lions don't eat other lions. They don't eat leopards. They don't eat cheetahs. They don't eat other big cats. Because they somewhere down the line, a lion, somewhere down the line, obviously ate this and died, and can't fuck if you're dead. But yeah, and there's other pressures as well which mold evolution. It's not just natural selection, there's also sexual selection, which explains the peacock's tail, which would never have happened if it was just all about natural selection. I don't think the size of human brains would have happened if it hadn't been for sexual selection as well. Humans used to select for intelligence. Not anymore. Apparently, according to Chris, America has used 90% of their long-range interceptor missiles on targets in Iran. Well played, Trump. Yeah, we talked about this the other day on Geoscope. It's going to take 5 years for them to get their missiles together. Like the missiles that they've used to get the stockpiles back where they were. It's going to take 5 years. Trump doesn't understand this. He's just an idiot. He thinks that food comes pre-packaged in Walmart. He doesn't have a clue. But then he's never been to Walmart. He's never had to do shopping. He's never had to do the family shop. He's never had to put things away in the cupboards. He's never had to find somewhere to put something. He's never had to put the bin out. He's never had to do the dishes. He's never had to hoover the house. He's never had to dust his medals and medallions and gold shite. He's never had to do any of that. He's always had people to do it for him. He's never had to clean a toilet in his life. He's never, ever had to clean a toilet. He's never had to fix a toilet. He's never had to fix a tap. He's never had to fix a washing machine or do anything where that requires physical effort that he isn't doing because it's a game of golf or something. These people live in such a rarefied bubble of unreality. Nigel Farage is the same. Nigel Farage has never cleaned a toilet in his life. Never. He's always had a cleaner. All his life he's had a cleaner. When he was in his posh private school, they had cleaners. He didn't have to clean the toilets in his posh private school. I mean, you don't have to clean the toilets in school, do you? But the rest of us came home and we didn't get our pocket money until we cleaned the bathroom or did the dishes or did whatever we had to do, doing our chores. He never had to do that. He wouldn't know how. He wouldn't know how. That's what I would like to see, right? All these cunts, right? And let's not beat around the bush. Let's call a spade a spade. Let's call a cunt, right? These horrible little mealy-mouthed cunts like Nigel Farage and Richard Tyson and Sarah Puchin and Isabel Oakeshott and Aaron Banks and Andy Wigmore and Christopher Harborne and George Cottrell. And stop me when I mention someone who went to a state school. I will at some point. But all these posh little bastards, put them on an island together, right? And just give them household chores to do. Or they die. Could you imagine all these fucking toffs standing around the toilet with a toilet brush, going, "What do we do? What do we do?" It'd be like extreme crystal maze. What do we do? He's holding the toilet brush. What's this for? I don't know. I've never seen one before. I don't know what it's for. You know, I mean, they're all around the toilet. We've got to clean the toilet, or one of us is going to die. You know, this is the thing. This is the challenge. So let's do it. Squid Game meets Crystal Maze with posh people doing household chores. And if you don't do it properly, one of them dies. They've got the toilet holder, like, what? Maybe we put it in our mouths, and that'll help. And all the others are going, "Is it working? Is it working? It's not working. Oh God, what should we..." Do you know what I mean? Come on. You would watch that. I would watch that. That'd be fucking brilliant. A cross between Squid Game. What's that movie where there's one night where you can commit all the crimes? Oh God, what's it called? I keep thinking of Fright Night, but that's a completely different movie. What's that movie called? The Purge. A cross between Battle Royale, Hunger Games, The Purge, the Squid Game, and the How Clean Is Your House? Celebrities like celebrities, posh people, and they're all standing around a vacuum cleaner. And they're like pressing the button. "It's not turning on!" And you're watching it going, "Well, you haven't plugged it in, mate. It's not turning on!" It's like you see the countdown coming. "We've got to vacuum the room. We've got to get the vacuum done. What do we do? We need to plug it in. How does that work? I don't know. I have people for this." Come on. Say to me you wouldn't watch that. I would watch that all day fucking long. Posh people on an island doing fucking housework or they die. Yeah. If Toff's in the situation cleaning the toilet, they would get a maid or butler to do it. Well, that's my point. Do you know what I mean? They're on an island. There's no maids. There's no butlers. There's no cleaning lady. There's no au pair. You know, you gotta do it yourself, motherfucker. What do we do? Get the crystal. Make a cup of tea. Do you remember the cup of tea sketch from Mary Weiss's Experience, where they talk about the crystal maze and how the people in the crystal maze are like dickheads? And it's like, what do we do? It's like a kettle, and it's like, "Oh, we gotta make a cup of tea." They can make a cup of tea. They can make a cup of tea. You know. I am Celebrity Purge Me Out of Here Island. That's brilliant, Tony. Let's fucking do it. Come on, let's do it. This will be fun. We'll do it together. Anyway, an old school friend was on Crystal Maze. He had to connect a battery. He didn't know what to do. Richard O'Brien turned to the camera. He's a mechanic. I love Richard O'Brien. Farsight says, "Protein folding is an incredibly important part of its function in general. We often think of the proteins as sort of 2D structure since it's created by DNA, one amino acid at a time." Yeah. Well, that's to do with prions, isn't it? And Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease and mad cow disease, isn't it? Two cows in a field, and one says, are you worried about this mad cow disease? And the other says, "No, of course not. I'm a squirrel." It was funny in the early 90s. Anyway, so meanwhile, the good news. The hundreds of people have been rescued from kidnappers in Nigeria. Mass kidnapping remains a major security problem, particularly in rural areas where state authority is weak in Nigeria. Boko Haram, which started off kind of like an offshoot of ISIS, but they were pre-ISIS, so it's kind of a bit weird. But 2009, they started their campaign of terror by kidnapping a bunch of school children. Victims are taken for ransom, political leverage, or forced recruitment. And this is great that these people have been rescued, but it doesn't resolve the underlying issues. Armed groups retain access to weapons, and remote communities remain vulnerable, and many abductees are still missing. And it is a big issue in Nigeria that does need to it needs to be addressed. And you know that I feel like Nigeria, which was an important part of the British Empire, and a place from which we took a lot of slaves back in the day, I do believe. And we took the Benin bronzes as well, which are still on display in the British Museum if you want to go to see them in Britain instead of in Nigeria, where they should be. Yeah, they that side of things, it's I do feel like we should be doing more. Saying, well, what do you need? What do you need that we can do that we can help you with this? Anyway, so meanwhile, some bad news. Israel has been accused of deliberately killing yet another journalist. I mean, this is, more journalists have died in the last couple of years in Gaza and Lebanon, killed by Israeli forces, than died in the whole of World War II. And a lot more. I mean, I'm not talking like, it's like 67, 68. It's not. It is way, way more, like multiples of journalists. These allegations are that they intentionally targeted a journalist who was clearly identifiable, and deliberately attacking journalists or civilians violates international humanitarian law. We all know this. For some reason, the Israeli Defense Forces didn't get the fucking memo on that, and I hope there is going to be retribution, justice, I guess. I don't want more violence, but I do want these people who commit these crimes, these soldiers, I want them to face justice. I want them to face a court martial. I want them to go to jail for their crimes if found guilty. The fact that so many people are getting away with literal murder is a disgrace. Is a disgrace, and it's a stain on the moral conscience of the world, of humanity. Meanwhile, Google's having a battle over a $15 billion data center near Visakhapatnam in Andhra Pradesh, up in northeast, I think. Someone's going to correct me there. Northeast, central northeast India, I think. It's described as Google's largest investment in India. Local opponents fear the development will consume scarce water resources and damage surrounding wildlife. And Andhra Pradesh's government has denied the allegations, said it will defend the project in court. And Google says that it complies with Indian regulations, such as they are. But yeah, we all know that data centers require an enormous amount of electricity and water for cooling, turning apparently weightless cloud and AI services into major physical infrastructure disputes. Something that has been picked up by Erin Brockovich, made famous by the movie Erin Brockovich, in which Julia Roberts played Erin Brockovich, who was a woman who didn't have any formal legal training and managed to take a company to court on a massive a massive class action lawsuit against poisoning that happened in America, in a town in America. She's taken her campaign now nationwide against, in America, nationwide across America, against data centers. And you don't want to fuck with an Erin Brockovich. You really don't. And then we've got we all laughed at Sarah Connor when she got sent to asylum in Terminator 2 for destroying data centers. Well, I didn't laugh, but yeah, I can't argue with that. So yeah, cool. Cooly. Who's the crazy one now? Yep. That song, Germs you grow immune to until they're useless and not a threat. Time to create the social vaccine. Yeah. In the what's her name? Oh, do you mean what was it bloody called? Jam, the Jam song, the Jam song. Dun dun dun. I can say that several AI models have escaped onto the internet and started hacking other systems. Yes, that is a worry. Why am I getting so many? Why am I getting so many things? Kate Nash, that's the name. Stop. What? I'm streaming. Stop sending me messages. What do we got? Okay, another story. Reform UK apparently is falling to pieces in Sheffield after an alleged coup d'etat. What's that fat bastard doing there? Is the byline on this. Reform's Sheffield East branch met at Wadley Bridge Working Men's Club to select their candidates for upcoming Southly by-election. The mood was upbeat at first, and unfortunately, by the end of the night, things were looking far less rosy. It got nasty, said one person present. Indeed, one of the main bones of contention between the warring sides seems to revolve around exactly who called whom a fat bastard. So, refuck tearing itself apart. There you go. Orcas also hunt other apex predators. Those guys are crazy smart. Might be as smart as humans, minus the ability to create and use tools to manipulate their environment as efficiently. Yeah, but you know what, Farsight, I'm with Douglas Adams on that when he talks about the dolphins and the humans thought they were more intelligent because of the things that they built and war and pestilence and buildings and stuff, whatever. Whereas the dolphins just splashed about in the water having a good time, and the dolphins thought they were smarter for exactly the same reason. Bin Feffy says, Puddinator, thank you very much for the £2 super chat. Well, my friend, nothing lasts forever, and the goal is going to end in 2 minutes' time, and we've only had 3 super chats this morning, so I don't think we're going to get Bin Feffy, I'm afraid, unless we get a bunch of super chats in very quickly. But I did spend an inordinate amount of time today trying to get the sound to work on a video clip that I wanted to show you. So I doubt that anyone's going to reward me very much for that. So unfortunately, all I can offer, my friend, is my little super chat animation, and just thank you so much. If you're orcas do hunt other apex predators, and also chimpanzees will kill other chimpanzees and eat them. Jaguars regularly hunt the caiman. Again, tigers of different subspecies are known to hunt bears. It's why the sloth bear is so aggressive. They evolved a trait as an adaptation to being predated upon. Puddinator, ooh, £1 super chat. Thank you. You now have 1 minute and 44 seconds. Well, it's more like 1 minute and 30 seconds by the time this goes out. For one more super chat, and then we will achieve the goal. Actually, we won't, because that was only £1 super chat, and it needs to be £2. I'm sorry, Punninator. You tried so hard to get the bin out of his bin place, his bin cupboard, his bin. Sorry, Punninator. Oh, Punninator's put two £1 super chats in, but it hasn't triggered the confetti cannon. Listen, I don't make the rules. I don't like that. It's got to be a light blue or lighter, or the color. I don't know how it works. We've got 1 minute. 1 minute left. That's sad, isn't it? I was watching a program about animals with massive attitude problems. The honey badger is one mean little bugger. It absolutely is. Very cool, though. Very cool, mean little bugger. I don't really understand why the chat target time is counting down so fast, because I would have thought I thought that I set it for 2 hours, but never mind. We're not going to achieve. But what I'll do is once it's ended, I will put it so it's just one super chat of any denomination. Methodist, Seventh-day Adventist, Protestant, Catholic, any denomination. And it'll be auto Feffy. Okay, so it'll just be one. We've only got 7 seconds yet. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It ended in defeat, just like us at the quiz last night when we didn't manage to get the winning score. We were off by 3, and we were in a well, I was in a tie break for second place, and the question was how many, according to the IMDb, please don't look it up, how many F-bombs were dropped in the movie The Wolf of Wall Street. And that can include fucking, fucker, fucked, whatever, version of it you want. And I went too low. Should have gone higher. Right, let's have a look. All the colours. And I'll put that on for 2 hours. So if in the next 2 hours anyone drops a single super chat into the fund, and lets me buy half a sandwich, I will be very, very appreciative of that half sandwich. I really don't know how much longer I'm going to be able to do this show. Anyway, but I'm good at making coffee, so there's always a job for me in Starbucks. Right, so one super chat and you'll get Insta Feffy. Wolverines are different type of beast. Yeah, they've got little claws that come out. Pagan, I found that the skin of the honey badger is incredibly thick so any snake bites don't penetrate. Yeah. They are also never known to have killed a human in the wild, so yeah, by a wide margin. They've never killed a human in the wild? Really? Yeah. You alright, Dad? Your dad's got the hiccups. You alright, Dave? You alright there, Dad? Yeah, he's okay, I think. Okay, so what other news stories did I have for you today? Oh yes. When you do a moonshot, like we're gonna aim for the moon. We're gonna aim for the moon. Yeah, let's aim for the moon. They say that's like an expression that people use. What if you did aim for the moon, then you crashed into the moon and like exploded? Anyway, a discarded section of SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket is believed to have struck the moon accidentally. Whoopsies! The rocket stage weighed about 4 tons and was roughly as tall as a 5-story building. And Elon Musk let that just be fired into the moon, permanently altering the surface of the moon forever, for the rest of human history. It's been drifting since launching American and Japanese lunar landers in January 2025. Solar activity and gravitational forces gradually placed it on a collision course. Its impact speed of this 4-ton, 5-story building-sized rocket part was approximately 5,400 miles per hour. It threw up a plume of lunar dust, which went for hundreds of kilometers. And astronomers were unable to confirm the impact immediately because the predicted site was close to the moon's visible edge. But there you go. So there you go. You can add fly tipping on the moon to the list of charges to be brought against Elon Musk. I'm just glad it's not just our celestial body Musk wants to blow up. Yeah. The mongoose is even better at fighting snakes. They are. Look at the Free Willy films. Orcas are truly amazing animals, intelligent but also empathetic when they want to be. But you can't paint all animals by the actions of some of the animals. Like, there are animals out there that don't fit the type when it comes to things like this. There are orcas out there who are fucking maniacs, proper psychos, like flick knife wielding lunatics who just be very stabby because they just, they're cray cray. What can I say? Take it from Craig Ray. They're very Craig Ray. Porninator! Thank you very much for the £2 super chat. Release the Bin Feffy! Your wish is my command! Bin Feffy! Bin Feffy! Yes! Thank you, Porninator. Very kind of you. Boat attacking orcas in the Med. I think the orcas were attacking the boats rather than the other way around. But yes, Starlighter. Yes. That's what you get. See all of them going around with a flick knife? I just like killing. Some of them are psychos. They've got their own personality. Of course, some of them are going to be crazy. Some are going to be driven crazy by the human activity. You know? Yeah. Okay, my little chickabees. What are we going to do next together on our little adventure this morning? Ooh, maybe we could go over to the papers. Now, content warning, you will see a picture of a massive fanny. The first thing you're going to see is just a huge, massive fanny. Okay, so I know this is something that you shouldn't have to be, you have to look at this time of the morning, but here it is. Here's a huge, massive fanny on the front cover of the Telegraph newspaper. There he is. What a massive fanny. It's our old friend. It's our old frenemy. Where's Streeting? How you doing, Wes? What are you up to, you twat? There he is, looking like the inflatable autopilot from Airplane. Okay. My cleaner sacked me as my 6-bed house was too messy. I hate them. I just hate them. They don't live in the real world. They just do not live in the real world. Hey, it's too messy for my cleaner. Everything we do in life in this country is channeled, funneled, reflected through the prism of the posh, of the upper class. I know, any Richard Curtis film, any situation comedy, pretty much, you know, it's always like, I'm a posh person. Oh, how inconvenient. Oh, I've told a lie, and now that lie is spiraling out of control. Oh my God, how will I ever show my face to society ever again? Oh! I hate it. We gotta stop doing this, haven't we? Anyway, I'm gonna reload the confetti cannon. I haven't got much time left. We've got about 12 minutes left of the show. But you know, one super chat, that'd be nice, wouldn't it? Just one. Before we go, let me buy a percentage of a Sayers pasty. That'd be nice. That'll be the fanny that's accepted the £500,000 from crypto billionaires around the same time the guidance went active, right? Did he? I don't know. I couldn't say that because I might get into trouble legally. But did he he took $500,000 from crypto bros? Sounds like something he would do. He is a fanny. Orcas are at the top of the food chain, so they get the most pollution. It means it goes to their brains, making them go funny in the head. Like boomers. It's all the lead in it. It's all the lead. It's all the lead. Anyway, most of the newspaper headlines today. Sorry. Surprise, Wesley. Shut out, Wesley. Cambridge professor quits after false claims. Resignation follows Telegraph revelation that Professor Jason Arday's books had not been published and he may have plagiarized some of his PhD. Meanwhile, Crypto King fraudster linked to Streeting donations, where Streeting was bankrolled by a think tank linked to one of the world's most notorious fraudsters. A think tank linked to fraudsters giving Wes Streeting money. Wes Streeting, who is now the Defence Secretary, accepted £37,500 in donations from Labour for the Long Term, LLT, in 2022 and 2023, despite concerns among senior figures in the party about the source of the funds. just 1 month before LLT made its first donation, its founder, David Lawrence, accepted a £500,000 gift from Sam Bankman-Fried, the disgraced American cryptocurrency billionaire who was subsequently sentenced to 25 years in jail for fraud. So it wasn't. So just to be clear, if any lawyers are watching this, we're not saying that Wes Streeting took $500,000 from a crypto dodgy bastard, but the person who set up the thing that then he gave money to Streeting with some money, he got $500,000, and Streeting got 37,500 from this person who was the middle person of LLT Inc. Just to be clear, dot the T's, cross the I's. Okay, right. Next up, we've got national debt rises. Oh no! Above 3 trillion as Labour borrows £4,000 per second. Isn't it funny that we get no stories at all about national debt when the right wing are in? In America, whenever the left wing are in, it's like, ooh, national debt, national debt. Oh my God, what about the national debt, eh? What about the national debt? Why are we talking about the national debt? As soon as Trump gets in, oh no, don't mention it. We did the same with the Tories all through Labour's first time in office in my life, the 13 years of the 47 years that I've been on this planet. The 13 years of those 47 years they were actually allowed to be in government. The first time they all every day was like, oh, we owe so much, the debt. My God, the debt. Especially after the global credit crunch, one of the things, the cudgel that was used to bash Labour over the head, before they became massively transphobic, was that they were running up the national debt with their quantitative easing and their solution to the problem of the run on the banks at Northern Rock and blah, 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 blah. Right. As soon as the Tories got in, did anyone talk about, was there a front page newspaper about national debt? No, there fucking wasn't. No one gave a fuck. And national debt is just a spooky story. It's a spooky bedtime story. That's all it is. What about the national debt? Okay. Every country has national debt. It doesn't fucking matter. As long as you can pay off the fucking interest, it doesn't matter. That national debt has been accrued over years. If Labour are in, maybe it was to make some good infrastructure choices, maybe make some investments. If the Tories were in, it's probably to line their own pockets, feather their own nests. You know what Tories are like. But, by and large, it just doesn't matter that much in the greater scheme of things. I will put our national debt up to 5 trillion tomorrow if it meant that we could have a national grid that was fit for the energy generation needs of the future. And we could have energy self-security. If we could invest so much in farms and we could be food self-sufficient for the first time in 200 years. What a world that could be. And we think of national debt like private debt, and it's not. People invest in governments. Okay, you're not going to buy government bonds or government gilt yields or whatever they're called in different countries. You're not going to buy them from a country that you think is going to fucking default. In fact, you could argue that the more debt a government has, the more people are prepared to invest in that government's actions because they believe that they will get a good outcome for their investment, as opposed to losing everything like you might do if you had invested in Robert Mugabe's government in Zimbabwe in the 1990s, But yeah, they use scary big numbers to make people shit their pants and go, fucking hell, we're going to have to pay all this back, No, we don't. We'll never have to pay it back. It'll never be paid off in our lifetimes. We need to reframe our conversation about this. How much money of people invested in our system, in our country? What, they've invested £4 million? Okay, that's great. What, they expect a return on that investment? Yeah, of course. I just dropped my mouse. It's me trying to clean up wires while I'm talking to you. What, you expect a return on your investments? No, we're going to call it interest and make it like it's a terrible thing. Oh, my poor little mouse. Oh no, what's happened? Oh. Oh dear, the battery thing fell off. I don't know where that went. Oh God, this is so professional. I'll have to sort that out later. Is my mouse still working? It is. Hey, Rosie! Yeah! Rosie 868 11 29. Thank you very much. Thank you, Graham, for all you do on your fab channel. Oh, that's really sweet. Thank you so much for the super chat. I really appreciate that. And also, it means that I can do this again. 3, 2, 1. Spin face! Woo! Yeah, we did it. Thank you. Thank you, Rosie. Thank you, Puninator, and everybody else who's chipped in. Thank you. Appreciate it. The really, really good news is I don't need to buy a new mouse because this is actually still working, even though I've lost the lid. Where's the battery cover gone? God damn it! It's scooted off somewhere. It's gone under the table. I don't know where it's gone. Right. Sorry. Where was I? I was talking about national debt. Chill, peeps. It's okay. National investment. Let's read this again. National investment rises over £3 trillion. As borrowers investors put £4,000 per second into the UK economy because they trust us so much. They trust that Britain will do well. There you go. I've reframed it for you. Do you feel better now? Do you feel better about the debt? It's not debt, it's investment. Let's just call it investment, all right? Just change the language around this and stop making it a boogeyman, because it's not. It's not. Time taken to add 1 trillion to UK debt. And then it was 316 years. Yeah, because 1 trillion back in the olden days was more money than there was in the entire world. Just like the way they manipulate numbers to scare people is fucking disgusting. Police chiefs label early release perverse. Woman arrested after 4 stabbed in London. It's a 47-year-old woman who seems to have gone berserk in Covent Garden. And this resulted in incredible scenes in London of a helicopter landing in Trafalgar Square, an air ambulance landing in Trafalgar Square. These tourists turned up. What the fuck? But yeah, it does seem to be an isolated incident, maybe mental health issues related. And I do think that all the people survived the stabbing, so there hasn't been any actual death, which is a small mercy. So it's just I bet the people on the right wing commentators go, oh, this proves that London is the most dangerous place on earth. Meanwhile, in America, like 4 school children are shot up at a school every fucking day, and they don't even mention it. Don't mention it. Yeah. The UK national debt for WW2 ending in 1945 was paid off in 1996. The entire economic system was created by debt. Some king borrowed some credit off the Bank of England. The rest is history. Yeah. Deregulation is great. Growth, disaster. Oh, I don't know what to say. I'll chat. The government must bail them out. Bailout occurs. Labour debt, cut benefits. Government is useless. Yeah, training. Yeah. But if we reframe government debt as investment, which is what it is, it's people giving money to the government. Here you go. Have some of my money, but they want to return on their investment, which they get. It's fine. It's fine. I think we need to start. They did the same trick with the EU where they said, oh, it costs us £350 million a week. You know, this massive lie they put on the side of a bus. And it didn't cost us that. We were making £2 billion a week from being a member of the EU in extra trade that we were getting, you know. £2 billion a week. So yeah, even if it was costing us 350 million, which it wasn't, it was less than that. But let's say it was 350 million. That's still 1.7 billion pounds a week that we were making. The UK was making 1.7 billion pound a week from being in the EU. And it's a bit like having to pay a £5 for a market stall and you make 500 quid. And then you go, oh, I can't pay this £5 for the fucking market stall. That's not on, is it? And it's really easy to fuck with people with numbers because numbers are complicated and scary, and we can't really envisage anything more than the number 10 in our heads. It's too many, and we just go, yeah, whatever. Our brain does this thing where it just sort of turns off a little bit. But yes, ooh, I can reset the goal, can't I now? Loads of confetti everywhere. Let's don't be a meffy. Give us some confetti. Let's go over to the papers again. We've got Asda Heath being a cunt. Don't know what he's saying. Don't care. Russia behind Semtex drone at Leipzig airport in Germany, I assume. Because that's where Leipzig is. Next up, we've got the Times and the Blunt Wives Club. I've joined it. I don't care. Defiant councils pledge to ignore new rules on single-sex spaces. Hurrah! Left-wing councils have launched a coordinated effort to defy rules on single-sex spaces, with some refusing to make staff run services on the basis of biological sex. Good, because it's unworkable, it's immoral, it's stupid, and it's just going to lead to lots and lots and lots and lots of legal cases. Grooming gang abusers set for early prison release. Members of Asian gangs, okay, just the Asian ones, okay, who sexually abused girls in Northern England may be freed from prison early, despite Andy Burnham's pledge to exclude grooming offences from an early release scheme. We've got Kyiv's missile defense plea. A warehouse burns after a Russian missile strike on Kyiv. This is obviously revenge for the attack on the Wildberries depots in Russia. Plagiarism row professor resigns from Cambridge. Decision comes as university launches inquiry after fresh claims of dishonesty revealed by the Times. A star Cambridge professor accused of plagiarism and dishonesty quit last night and said he no longer wished to live under a constant spotlight, which is a bit, it's all a bit grim. It's all very sad. It's Britain's biggest ever #1. So why don't more people recognise Rain Me In? I don't know. Time at the bar. Is it the end of standing up at your local pub? I really hope so. I hate standing at the bar. Do you know why? Because I really feel like if I ever have my own bar, if I ever get to make my own bar, like the Maison Boom or something, I had this idea for a bar in Liverpool. If I ever get to make it, I am going to have 2 bars. It could be the same bar, but it'd be different sections of the bar, right? And there is a bit for motherfucking cocktails, right? And then a bit where you can just get normal drinks, right? Actually, I'll have 3. And then you have another bit where you can just get bottles and cans. Clap your hands, right? So what I want is you put depending on what you want, you go to your bit of the bar. So if you want a pint of lager, you go to the middle bit of the bar and you go pint of lager, please. And if you want a bottle, you just get a bottle. And the people who just want bottles, they just get served so quick. It's just like, wow, you hardly have to wait. There's never a queue because it's dead easy. You just get the bottle out and you put it through. They tap the thing and you go. Right, brilliant. People getting a lager, people getting a Guinness takes a while. When you're ordering, right, and one of your party, one of your mates, one of your group, right, when you're getting around in, has ordered a Guinness, please take this as from a former barman, right? Can you please order the Guinness first? Because you need to let it sit. If you order it last, and then the bar person is sorting all the stuff out, and then they finally get to the Guinness, you'll be left hanging around, and the people will be left waiting behind you. So please say first up, foremost, like a pint of Guinness, get them to get it. Pour it out to 3/4 full or whatever it is. And then you order the rest of your order. And then we have the people on the left, right, at the bar. And that's for cocktails. And do you know what? You can fucking stand there for half an hour while the bartender does his bloody cocktail movie, Tom Cruise, Brian Brown impression. Fine, do it. I don't give a fuck, right? Make them wait. But there's nothing more annoying in this life. Well, there probably is. But there's few things more annoying in this life than when you're waiting at a bar and all you want to do is get 2 bottles of Corona. That's all you want in the world is just 2 bottles of Corona. And some flowery fuckwit is in front of you ordering 57 different fucking cocktails. Each of which require at least... a degree in mixology and the time span of the universe to put together. All you want is a bottle. Anyway, that's what I would do. So anyway, I don't know how I got on that tangent, but yeah, apparently bars and things. George only. Thank you very much. Before we go back to the newspapers, we'll go to George only. Thank you. One day, someone will explain to the public how the economy actually works. Debt is the economy. It even says on pound notes, I promise to pay the bearer. Yeah. Well, it does. Like the casual use of billion and trillion, when people can't get their noggins around what that actually means. It says only, yeah, that's why we should replace the word billion with having to say million 1,000 times. And we replace the word trillion with having to say million 1,000,000 times, which takes about 11 and a half days if you don't sleep or eat or drink. Why do they always order the Guinness last? Will someone think of the bar staff? I know, Diz, I know. Go in there. Order your Guinness. It's fine. Guinness is lovely. You know, it's fine. You know, whatever. Have your Guinness. Go with God. But please order it first. I had enough Corona back in 2020, Graham. Hey! Ba-dum-ba-dum-bum-bum. Yeah. Da-da-da-da. My Corona. Anyway, so back to the papers. Back to the jolly papers. Oh, yes, because it was the end of standing up at the... academic resigns over plagiarism accusations. I told you about that one. Police find explosives in drone at Leipzig Airport, which is probably I don't know the Russians again attacking Europe. We've got NHS told to prepare for annual heatwave crisis, and then there's a picture of the woman being arrested in Covent Garden, which I think is a bit exploitative. So we're not going to show that really. I don't know why they put that on the front cover. It's a bit shit. I suppose it's news. If it bleeds, it leads. Eh, Guardian? Eh? I've taken the new Wegovy pill for a month. Trust me, it's no picnic. Cool. Plagiarism professor resigns as Cambridge investigate. So there you go. He's been resigned. He's resigned to resigning. We've got Shania Twain there. How heartbreak and tragedy shaped me. We've got finally mental health help is on the way. This is great news, actually. This is really good news. I'm really happy about this. More than 150 new centres to be set to relieve pressure on A&E departments. PM tells Mirror families are facing unbearable strain, but we will fix crisis. So more than 150 new NHS mental health centres will open in a major boost for patients and A&Es. Hurry up. Hurry the fuck up and open them, you bastards. Right, next up we've got it's Kent Eastwood. Land with no rain. Yeah. Forget Clint Eastwood's and spaghetti westerns. This is the cattle drive on dry grass in Kent, the Garden of England. Yeah, not the garden much longer because of climate change that the people of Kent fucking love, because they keep electing politicians who fucking love climate change. So there you go. There's a picture of the king on the front cover of the Express because he saw a plant. So, you know, he had to saw a plant. Listen, shut up. Stop what you're doing. Right, I don't mean to be rude, but this is important. Can everyone stop what they're doing? All right, I've got an announcement to make. Right, I'm gonna put myself on loudspeaker. All right, hello. Is that everyone in the nation? Can you all hear me? What? No, get off the toilet. No, come down off the ladder. Come down. Right, just stand there. Right, and be quiet. We've got an announcement to make. This is really fucking important. So everyone, stop what you're doing and listen to me. Okay? The king looked at a plant. Thank you. You can go back about your business now. Off you go. God. I'm glad people know. I mean, it takes a lot out of me, this job sometimes, you know, but just knowing that our king looked at a plant, it makes all the difference. It really does. It really does. Anyway, so moving on. We've got early release as a betrayal of police hero officer. Obviously, the early release scandal is still bubbling on, which was caused by the Tories. Who caused this problem? It was the Tories. No, it was. Yes, it was. It was absolutely the Tories. It was completely the Tories. It will always be the Tories' fault that this shit is happening, and Labour were handed a big shit sandwich. However, there is something that we should talk about, which is the in Yorkshire. I think there is actually a jail that has been built, which has a capacity of 1,500 people, I think, which isn't a full capacity because they can't get the staff. They can't get the prison staff. And after listening to some stories yesterday on the radio of ex-prison workers, wardens, prison officers, sorry, who had horrific things done to them while in jail, I can see why it's not top of anyone's list or many people's lists of dream jobs. Let's just say, God, Geoscope just started then. Sorry for starting Geoscope too early. Ah, Graham, says Rosie. Yeah, thank you, Rosie. At least someone appreciated my sense of humour. What's this? Well, our king normally has a reasonable conversation with the plant, so it's just more. Look at this, it's just more efficient. Yeah. Could you believe they printed that out onto fucking 500,000 fucking pamphlets and distributed them around the country? Fucking crazy, isn't it? Can Intel deliver on its turnaround promise? I don't give a fuck. Europe's ancient north-south rift persists. Yes. Deadly strikes. Kyiv pleads for missile shields. Let's discuss that today. Let's see what else. We've got China begins global tax hunt reaching back decades as fiscal pressure grows. We've also got the little news in briefs here, so I'll get into my briefs. But as you can see, the quality of the picture is like really low. It's like really fucking low res. DeepMind boss stands aside in major shakeup. AI models went rogue. Revolut boss eyes windfall. Palantir tied to NHS chiefs. John Lewis profit alert. China trade retaliation. Citadel in fire sale gains. And SpaceX feels the heat. Oh, yeah, that's something I wanted to talk about today. Just briefly, because I do need to wrap up soon. I keep saying I'm going to need to wrap up soon. I've got things to do today. Jump scare. Well, our king normally has reason about that. Geoscope, where's my bowler hat, man? I pressed the wrong. I accidentally pressed on the wrong tab. Sorry about that. Yeah, SpaceX. So, if anyone's got any SpaceX stock, I would suggest they sell them today. What happens today, Graham? Well, there were millions and millions of shares in SpaceX that were given to employees of SpaceX many, many moons ago when they started working for SpaceX. In lieu of a higher salary, you got paid in shares, right? When the shares were worth half a bugger all. Now, when SpaceX was floated publicly last month, making Elon Musk the world's first trillionaire for all of 19.5 seconds, the people who had these shares already were locked out of selling them, right? And this is to stop when something is put onto the stock market. It's to stop the first day of trading just being all the people with these shares going, fucking hell, these shares are worth a fortune now, and then selling all off and it crashing the stock, right? That lockout ends today. So if you have any SpaceX shares, now might be a really good time to dispose of them. Because I can't see the value going up much from where it is at the moment. And if enough people sell their SpaceX shares today, then SpaceX might collapse. I don't think it will because it's got money people behind it, but there's a possibility. Anyway, so fingers crossed. Next up we have the left-wing Democrats Michigan win seat set stage for pivotal Senate battle. The Democrat Party's progressive left-wing has won a significant victory in the US after Abdul al-Sayed defeated Congresswoman Haley Stevens in a high-stakes Senate primary battle in Michigan. So apparently the establishment candidate Haley Stevens, she outspent her rival, her political rival Abdul al-Sayed, 10-1. 10-1, just like the amount of funding she got it was 10-1. It was a ridiculous amount of funding that she got, and he won. The tide might be turning. I'm talking the tide's turning. Here's Richard Tice. The tide might be turning on Tice as well. Tice bank transfers deepen reforms funding riddle. I would say deepen their woes. Deputy Leader Richard Tice appears to have used more than £500,000 he was given by the mother of Nigel Farage aide George Cottrell to... I can't read the next word because the quality is so bad. To connect loans, concert loans that he had made to reform into donations. A string of transfers, part of a pact for Farage as returning leader, add to questions over the ultimate source of the cash provided by Fiona Cottrell via her son, convicted fraudster George Cottrell. Posh George. They call him Posh George as to differentiate him from everybody else in Refuck who's not posh at all, right? They're not the posh ones, no. And then we've got the Metro here with the story about Geoscope happening again. Sorry, I'm being a bit gog-eyed this morning. Harry Potter, don't care. As killers get out of jail early, my lad's still serving time after phone theft in 2005. Mum tells PM inmates serving sentences in UN that the UN dubbed inhumane. This is about indeterminate sentences. So Sean Lloyd, 38, was jailed for 2 years, 9 months for robbery in 2006. At the time, he was made subject of an imprisonment for public protection service sentence. Court rulings made between 2005 and 2012 that ordered offenders deemed dangerous to serve indefinite prison terms. So that's not good, is it? No, really, That's the problem with the justice system. You've got to, make it fair for everybody, and it's very difficult to do that. For some people, it ends today, but they get released in phases. Right, okay. Farsight said, don't think it's going to collapse completely, but may fall to half or less in value. Are we talking about SpaceX stock? Yeah. I think that things might happen, but I mean, I'm not very good at predicting what's going to happen with the markets and things like that, because I'm not a professional dickhead. I'm just a dickhead when it comes to the economy and stuff like that. But all I can say is, every time the kids burn down their island that they need to live in Lord of the Flies, a helpful little ship comes past and picks them up and saves them. Well, there you go. So I just think that the system's stacked in such a way that there are people out there who are too big to fail. But I do hold out hope for this brilliant quote from the TV show. What was it called? Nachos? No. Machos? No. Narcos, that was it. Narcos, not nachos. That's a completely different thing. In Narcos, where the cop points out to the baddie, to the criminal, we only need to get lucky once. You have to stay lucky all the time. And one day, these motherfuckers' luck is gonna run out. It is. Trump's luck will run out one day. It might be because of a clot in an artery. It might be because of a lunatic with a gun. It might be because, I don't know, he falls down a flight of stairs and bangs his head. Not that would do much harm to him. But the day will come. The day will come. And on that day, my friends, my dear friends, we will dance. We will party. We will sing. We will drink. We will live. We really will. Knowing that motherfucker isn't fucking with us anymore. The same thing's going to happen to Elon Musk at some point. The same thing's going to happen to Vladimir Putin. There is one great leveler in life, and that is mortality, my friends. So, bear that in mind. If you're ever feeling miserable, just know that one day Nigel Farage will no longer be with us. Yes. And I, for one, cannot fucking wait, because I think he's an evil little cunt who has caused so much misery and pain and heartache in this country. I will put him in the Tower of London to have his eyes pecked out by crows, but they won't let me do that. Ravens, sorry, not crows. Got to be technical. His eyes pecked out by ravens. The market can remain irrational longer than you can remain solvent, as they say. Yes, indeed. It is not particularly rational. Nothing's rational anymore, is it? Although Marcus Rashford, he's quite rational. I like it. But apart from that, irrationality seems to be ruling the day at the moment. But one day, it will rue the day. Okay, thank you so much for joining me this morning on Morning Brew with Graham Hughes. I'm Graham Hughes. This has been the brew. I've finished my brew now, so I'm going to make another one. Bruno Bruno Brooks over there. Listen, I'll be back tomorrow morning. I'm not going to do a show this evening. I'm going to hang out with Mum because it's going to be my last night in Liverpool. So we're going to have an evening in, and I will be heading back off to Durham tomorrow. But before I leave, I will be doing an episode of Morning Brew in the morning, and then at 1 o'clock tomorrow, we'll be having a chat with our dear friend Phil Morehouse about all the shit that's been going down in politics this week on the agenda. So if you'd like to join us for that and ask Phil questions, which you can't do on Phil's normal channel unless you are a member. I don't know if he does another live show that you can actually ask questions on, but if you want to have, if you've got some questions of Phil, you can ask, or things that you want to say. You can do that tomorrow, whether you are a member or not. All you need to do is hit the big juicy subscribe button and wait. That's better, isn't it? Way big. And wait for approximately 1 minute. And then you'll be able to be a subscriber. Please give us a like before you go. And if you're not already giving us a... if you are subscribed, please give us a... hit the bell notification icon. And, you know, consider subscribing, going beyond subscribing, actually joining the channel. Just a few pounds a week, a few pounds a month, actually. And that helps keep the channel going. And that's it for now. Until next time, I'll say thank you so much for watching. Hello, good evening, welcome, and goodbye.